challenge for us this week, playing a very good Utah team. I think Coach Whittingham has got his kids playing as well as anybody in our conference right now over the last 2 weeks with wins over Stanford and Arizona in very impressive fashion. You know, offensively, over the last 2 weeks, I think they've done a tremendous job of establishing the run game, both with Moss, who's averaging over 100 yards now, as well as Tyler Huntley, who's thrown in, you know, almost 40 yards a game with his legs, whether it's quarterback design runs or scrambles off the pass. You know, they've done a great job of getting the ball to Covey, number 18, different ways, and because of that run game, they're creating some one-on-one matchups, and they've really hit their deep ball shots over the last 2 games. I think that's created some great separation for them. Defensively, you know, I think it's a lot about the 2 linebackers. Chase Hansen and Cody Barton are doing a tremendous job of running the lanes with some big defensive linemen in front of them. Your offensive linemen are having a double team, and they're being able to get off and be able to run the lanes and get people down. I think what's going to be a neat matchup in this game, I think you're going to see 2 of the premier safeties in the country, one being Marvell Tell and then with Blair for Utah. You're talking about 2 kids that are going to be playing on Sunday. It should be really neat to watch. Going to be a fun game. You know, going to Salt Lake City and playing in Rice-Eccles Stadium at night is always electric, and especially when 2 teams are competing to be at the top of their division. So it should be a lot of fun. Injury report. Porter's surgery happened today. It went extremely well, and so now the healing process begins. But it was good news from what their doctors have told us, that it went as good as absolutely possible. So it's good to hear that. Elijah Griffin is out with a shoulder right now. Jonathan Lockett is out with a hip. Chase Williams is out with a hyperextended knee. Cam Smith, we held today, still getting that hamstring well. EA is still going through concussion protocol. Brandon Peely got some work today. Shoulder was a little bit better today. We'll see how it is as we go through the week. Raymond Scott got back today and practiced a little bit after coming off finger surgery. We got Clayton Bradley back for a little bit today, coming off the back, and Bernard Shermer came back today, coming back from a neck soreness. With that, I'll take any questions that you have.
What's the timetable?
Did they do with Porter? What did they have to do with that surgery?
They had plate and screw. They put a steel plate and screws
in. One bone? I mean, is it one place?
It's an ankle fracture. I wish I was a better surgeon, but I know they had to plate it and screw it, and they said it was the hardest bones they've ever seen. So it was, but it was a very successful surgery, and one that should take anywhere from they said around 4 months. So probably the middle of February, he should be back 100%.
What's the timetable for Cam, and then with EA, is there even one?
Yeah, EA is actually going through the protocol pretty quickly and feeling good. He actually went out and practiced today. We went no contact with him, exerted him. Obviously, he's got to get through the doctor's protocol and go through it all the way. And so I really don't have a timetable. It's based on, you know, 1, when they clear him, and then 2, how is he feeling. He says he feels great, but obviously, you know, the doctors are going to go through their testing and do it. But it's one of those that it looks a lot better than it did Saturday night.
And Cam?
Cam is running today. He ran yesterday. He ran today. He progressed today. You know, we're gonna make a decision later in the week, but he's feeling a whole lot better than he did last week. He was right there on the edge going into the game, and we didn't want to risk it because he ended up having a hamstring. It could be, you know, 4 to 6 weeks. So you know, we got EA and Ruben ready, and we'll do the same this week and see where Cam's is at the end of the week. I know he's positive about it and is feeling good about it, and has had enough reps where he doesn't have to be in live reps right now. We'll see where it's at Thursday.
Wade, EA and Ruben played. Does that kind of change how you look at it? It's not an emergency necessarily with Cam?
You know, I think Cam wants to be out there. You know, I think it was right on the cusp last week, and, you know, it was something that for the long run we wanted to give it another week. And, you know, when the doctors say it's right and he feels great, you know, he'll let me know when he's ready to go back out.
If Cam is available, if he's going, does EA slide somewhere else?
No, right now he's the backup Mike linebacker, and that's an extremely valuable position. I mean, it takes studying to do. You're basically the quarterback of the defense. Getting us in defenses based on formation, based on backs alignment, checking us out of pressures. If the offense freezes, we can check at any time. So there's a lot of knowledge that goes into that. There's a lot of study that goes into that. It's really hard to play two positions. Now it's depending on how many snaps are in the game, and if we had both available, it would be advantageous to be able to get EA in there a little bit and take some off of Cam.
Losing Porter for a half is different than losing him for the season. How do you replace that production and leadership?
You can't. Just being honest. There's only one Porter. I've been doing it 24 years, and I can count on one hand guys you just remember. You'll always remember, and that guy. He's the definition of what a Trojan is. Whether it's on the field, the way he competes, the way he led our football team by example as well as vocally, the way he brought his younger brothers along and how he took Hunter Eccles in, the way he just played for his brothers and his teammates. He's one of those five guys. I'm always going to say, man, that's a football player. And so you can't replace it. We have some really good kids that can go in there and are going to play well, but from the total package, it's hard. It's hard. We have some good seniors, and three of them are captains. With Cam and Marvell and Toa, they provide that leadership. But I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to getting Porter back out here soon, and now he becomes Coach Gustin. And that's an important role too, and get him back around us will be important.
Clay, obviously you had a plan for what this offense would look like going into the season. You have a plan every week for what it could look like. Would you ever have thought that you could be, I guess, on the surface, kind of like deep ball dependent almost to move the ball at times? And how does that play out for you?
I tell you what, it's really been each game feels different. Just being honest. I mean, we go into Arizona and we rush for 270 yards, and then we come into the next game and we're launching balls deep. And the one thing that I will give credit to for, he's really trying to take what the defense gives him. I was glad to see the run not given up on. I'm a run guy by nature, being an O-line coach's son, and I thought coming in to that second half that he tried to reestablish the run game, especially after backing him up in the second quarter. So it's tough. Some games you're going to sit there and the run game's just rolling like it did in Arizona, and you keep on feeding those kids. And then there's games that you look up and they're like, all right, there's no deep safety anywhere. I mean, there's nobody past 8 yards, and you say, you know what, we got to let our outside kids go play.
The scoring against Colorado seemed to come in bunches. 3 touchdowns in the second quarter, then none in the second half. Is there kind of a commonality on why that happened?
Well, I think the second half was. I was talking to Dan about that the other night on the phone call, and it was a strange third quarter because one, we didn't get the ball first. They had a drive that pinned us deep. We got it out to the 50, punted the ball down, and then they get the ball back and they throw a pick six. So they get the ball right back offensively. So we really only had it two times in the third quarter. And so you don't get a ton of opportunities there. And then you look up and after that score, you're 3 scores ahead, which changed the dynamic, and you're going into the fourth quarter. That changes the dynamic of the game. They made a long drive, and that ate up a lot of plays and a lot of time. We got the ball back. We kick a field goal to reestablish a 3-score lead. And it was a little bit of lack of opportunities, to be honest with you. In the second half, we only had, I think, 59 plays. And they had some longer drives in the second half, making some third down conversions, fourth down conversions, and some penalties that allowed them to continue going. So I think it was a lack of reps, to be honest with you, Joe. All right, guys. Thank you.